Hey, Tony, instead of releasing your edit, put the whole video out. I don't have it, or I would myself. You know what happened, and you're trying to manipulate the media.
This guy clearly has a lot of relations. I'm not going to deny. And these texts are explicit.
And she says that she alleges that the rape was brutal.
Pat McAfee set the sports talk world on fire today with a headline no one saw coming. His unfiltered reaction to the jaw-dropping $50 million lawsuit filed against fellow football legend-turned-broadcaster Shannon Sharpe was exactly the kind of content that makes McAfee's live streams a must-watch. As soon as the teaser flashed across the screen, viewers flooded in, waiting to see if McAfee would come out swinging for his colleague or take a step back from the chaos. Spoiler, he did neither. Instead, McAfee carved out a full 90 minutes of content that struck a careful balance between skepticism and hard-hitting reporting. He kicked things off by breaking down the lawsuit in simple terms for anyone who might have only seen a headline or two on their feeds. The civil complaint, filed in Nevada last week, accuses Sharpe of serious misconduct under SA, with the plaintiff demanding $50 million in damages. McAfee didn't sugarcoat the situation, but made sure to translate the legal mumbo-jumbo into something the average fan could follow. The plaintiff claims her emotional and professional life has been wrecked by Sharpe's actions, while Sharpe's camp has come out swinging, calling the accusations categorically false and accusing them of being strategically timed. Throughout the segment, McAfee kept hammering home the point that these are still just allegations. Explosive allegations, sure, but allegations until they're proven in court. He also drew a sharp line between public opinion and the legal process, pointing out how high-profile cases tend to have two parallel tracks, one in the courtroom, one in the court of public opinion. Evidence is colder than a December punt in Lambeau, he said, reminding everyone to hold off on jumping to conclusions until the real documentation starts to roll in. McAfee, however, made sure not to downplay the gravity of the situation, pointing out how quickly sports media flips from hero worship to full-blown condemnation. The chat was buzzing so rapidly that even McAfee's production crew had trouble freezing the most popular questions long enough to give a proper response. One theme kept popping up. Could Sharpe keep his on-air job while this lawsuit played out? McAfee turned to precedent, mentioning how other analysts had stepped away temporarily when similar clouds hovered over them. But he also raised the possibility that Sharpe's new employer, Disney's sports empire, might choose to stand by him to avoid the optics of an early concession. Networks love loyalty until sponsors start making noise, McAfee quipped. Early in the broadcast, McAfee dialed up Jeanine Prescott, a former federal prosecutor turned sports law insider, to break down the legal language of the filing. Prescott called the complaint thorough, but not groundbreaking, noting that the damages sought seemed less about proving physical wrongdoing and more about reputational damage and potential lost earnings. She predicted a lengthy discovery battle, possibly lasting a year, unless both sides opted for a quiet settlement. When McAfee pressed her on the odds of it going to trial, she gave it a 60-40 chance. Next, McAfee turned to Sharpe's own response, issued late Tuesday through his legal team. The brief, terse memo accused the plaintiff of fabricating events and manipulating time-stamped messages. Sharpe's team warned that they'd countersue for defamation if the complaint wasn't withdrawn. McAfee read the memo verbatim, then analyzed key phrases like digital manipulation and malicious intent, forecasting that forensic phone experts would soon be raking in big paychecks to trace metadata. He also addressed the elephant in the room, how quickly brand partners vanish when high-profile lawsuits emerge. Major sneaker and supplement companies, once aggressively courting Sharpe, had gone silent within 48 hours of the lawsuit going public. McAfee pointed to marketing execs who shared off record that they follow a 3-headline rule. They can endure 1 bad headline, monitor 2, but after 3, they bail. Sharpe had hit that 3rd threshold once the tabloids splashed security camera stills of him leaving a Midtown hotel the night before the alleged incident's timeline. However, the most talked-about moment of the broadcast came when McAfee compared his own defamation battle with Brett Favre, a case many believed was dead after settlement talks fizzled. He opened up about the emotional toll, revealing how he paid 6-figure legal bills every quarter while waking up to daily Google alerts filled with motions he never thought he'd read. "You don't sleep the same once your name is inked on a docket sheet," he admitted, offering Sharpe a bit of empathy even as he critiqued the former tight end's occasional grandstanding. The phones lit up when McAfee opened the caller lines. The first caller, Marcus Hoosier Mark Caldwell, a local Indianapolis podcaster, said he grew up idolizing Sharpe but felt blindsided by the allegations. Caldwell questioned whether public figures should be held to stricter contractual morality clauses than current league or network codes. McAfee responded that morality clauses do exist, but are often full of loopholes, negotiated by agents to give their clients wiggle room. He argued that real change would need to come from advertisers who control the purse strings. Another recurring question was about the optics of Sharpe's role on debate shows, where he dissected the missteps of other athletes. McAfee pointed out that critics would inevitably pull time-stamped footage of Sharpe scolding others for alleged misconduct, splicing it with footage from his own crisis to paint him as hypocritical. "We live in the era of receipts," McAfee remarked, noting how editing software can turn old takes into daggers overnight. He urged producers at networks to prepare their internal teams for clip vetting so that out-of-context segments wouldn't fuel the fire further. Regional vibe checks from sports bars, from Atlanta to Anchorage, confirmed that public reaction was the same everywhere. In Denver, where Sharpe had solidified his legacy with 2 Super Bowl rings, the fan base appeared divided. Longtime Broncos supporters remembered him as a locker room leader and were cautiously hopeful that the case would dissolve quietly. Younger viewers, however, leaned more toward skepticism, shaped by a media culture that demands greater accountability from public figures. Meanwhile, in New Orleans, local broadcasters noted mixed reactions from Saints fans on call-in shows, with some expressing admiration for Sharpe's career, while others voiced concern about the legal drama surrounding him. As the broadcast unfolded, McAfee's panel welcomed NFL insider Jordan Riddick, who made an astute observation. "Sharpe isn't just battling legal jeopardy," Riddick said, "he's battling narrative drift." Riddick explained that every day the lawsuit headlines, Sharpe's critics were reshaping his public persona, turning what started as a civil complaint into a larger battle over athlete privilege, media gatekeeping, and pay disparity. McAfee nodded in agreement, noting that stories like this often balloon when they merge with broader cultural issues, money, celebrity, and high-stakes allegations making the perfect storm for viral controversy. McAfee used the clip to underscore a brutal truth. "Today's on-air bravado can mutate into tomorrow's liability exhibit," he remarked. The shifting narrative, in McAfee's view, illustrated the precarious nature of fame in the modern age. He urged broadcasters to future-proof their commentary, suggesting that in today's world, every comment, every clip, could be weaponized in unexpected ways. As the segment ended, McAfee reminded his viewers that, ultimately, the case was still in its early stages, and while public opinion had swung in various directions, the legal process would have to play out before any final conclusions could be drawn. The complexity of the case had only just begun to unfold, and McAfee made it clear that the story was far from over. What do you think of this drama? Let us know in the comment section. And don't forget to subscribe Celebrity Insider News and press the bell icon for more celebrity gossips. Thanks for watching.